Hello and welcome to The Load-In, a United Theater podcast with me, your host, Lee Metzger. I'm here. So are you. You're a camera, and I'm a guy in front of a microphone. And I'm going to talk to you about something specific today. Today, I'm going to focus on one thing, and that is 14 movies. You might say, Lee, you're not focusing on one thing at all then. You're focusing on 14 things. To that, I would say, it's a pretty good point. And I think you might be right. But needless to say, those 14 things will be what we'll be talking about today, whether you like it or not. So let's dive into The Load-In. It's the show. So we all know what time of year it is. It's January, mid-January. That's about as middle of the January as you can get. Where today, I believe, is the 18th of January itself, my wife's birthday. So send a happy birthday to my wife if you see her. So in the next couple weeks, we will be enjoying what's called the awards season. We have seen the Golden Globes have already happened. The Emmys have already happened. Some Critics' Choice Awards, I believe, have already happened. But the big kahuna is on its way now. And that, of course, is the Oscars, the most prestigious awards in the land. So we're looking forward to that. And the way that we are preparing is we have scheduled as many Best Picture nominees and or Best Actor, Best Actress, Best Supporting Cast. We picked our own curated list of films that we believe will be nominated, and perhaps even winners. So these films are the ones that we're most confident about. And to prepare, we have decided to schedule them so we can watch them and share them with you. So I'm just going to kind of run down a list of what we've got coming up, and specifically for those. And then at the end, I'm going to tell you a little bit about a secret. A way to watch these films the right way. So stick around for that. But first, let's go through these films. So it all begins on the 28th of January with a screening of Past Lives. Past Lives is a movie, as a South Korean film, it's not in South Korean. Some of it is, or just Korean in general. Some of it is in that language, but it's about a Korean woman or a Korean pair of people who are separated 20 years prior to the movie, and then they run into each other in the big city, and that, of course, leads to complications because everybody has a life to lead. 20 years, you can live a lot of life. So they get into the intricacies of their relationship and what may have happened and what could have happened and what has actually happened. I, of course, have not seen this. But I'm looking forward to watching it. On the 30th of January, we have Maestro, which is Latin for Mr. This is directed and in part written by Bradley Cooper. Bradley Cooper also stars in it with Carey Lee Mulligan and Matt Bomer. And if you're a fan of schlocky TV, if you've seen White Collar, say what's up in the comments. But Matt Bomer looking good. This film is about Leonard Bernstein and his troubled relationship with his wife and his lovers, and he's a pretty complicated man, like most artists are. People aren't just monoliths. They're multifaceted people. Another film I haven't seen. At the beginning of February 1st, we'll be showing Oppenheimer. And this is sure to be a blast. Oppenheimer is directed by Christopher Nolan of Batman and Tenet and Interstellar and the one about dreams, Inception. This stars Cillian Murphy and Emily Blunt, and Cillian Murphy plays Oppenheimer, the titular Oppenheimer, who is instrumental in creating the atomic bomb. I've heard reviews that it's a lot of sitting naked in a chair. So if you're looking forward to watching that happen, then this is the movie for you. Another film I haven't seen. And then after that, on the 4th of February, we'll be showing American Fiction, starring Jeffrey Wright and Sterling K. Brown, Tracy Ellis Ross. So this movie is about a novelist who's fed up with the establishment, profiting off of what is considered to be black entertainment. So he uses a pen name to write a book that propels him into the heart of hypocrisy. And so this is a movie about identity, about struggling with what people want or the consumer mentality of America, capitalism, and just art in general. This looks like a really compelling film, and I haven't seen it. On the 5th, we'll have Boy and the Heron, which is a Miyazaki film. So, what is it? My cousin? No, My Neighbor Totoro, Howl's Moving Castle, Spirited Away, all those good stuff. This is, and of course, it's a Miyazaki film, so it deals with like death and children and birds that can talk. And it's another one that I haven't seen. The next day, the 6th, we'll have Poor Things. This is a weird old film. This is directed by Yorgos Lanthimos and stars Emma Stone and Mark Ruffalo. And this film looks friggin' nuts. It's also got Willem Dafoe in like some wild Frankenstein mask. Looks pretty cool. It's kind of a Frankenstein film-ish, where a woman gets created out of parts and then experiences life for the first time. This is a movie that I haven't seen. Then on the 13th, we have May December, which is a film starring Natalie Portman and Julianne Moore. Now, this is kind of one of those ripped from the headlines films. Of course, it's not just like a shot-for-shot read-through of a column, but this is a film by Todd Haynes. Now, if you remember like the Mary Kay Letourneau scandal, where the school teacher and the like 7th grader have a sort of relationship, and then she goes to prison and then gets out, and then they maintain that relationship. This kind of examines that relationship 20 years later, and a actor getting the role of the woman, the teacher, and then going to her home and observing her to inform her performance. And it kind of, is a deep dive into that relationship and what it might look like and the intricacies of that. And this film I actually haven't seen. I work at a movie theater. On the 22nd of February, we'll have Killers of the Flower Moon makes its triumphant return. This is a Martin Scorsese film directed by, we have Leonardo DiCaprio, we've got Robert De Niro, we have Lily Gladstone. This is a complicated film, a long film, about Native Americans in Oklahoma under their government-afforded parcel of land. Of course, oil is found, and therefore the government needs to come back into the picture to take it back away from them. So this is a film about that, but it's also about the relationships between people. And that's what a good movie is, right? It's not about what happens. It's about the people. It's about the relationships. And this is a really complicated film, but a good one. And I haven't seen it. On the 27th of February, almost at the end of February, we have Anatomy of a Fall, movie by Justine Triet, who knows? Starring Sandra Huller and Swan Arlaud, amongst many. This film is about a woman is suspected of the murder of her husband. Her husband is found fallen from a balcony. The only person to witness it was their blind son. And so it begins as like a detective kind of movie and then moves into like a courtroom drama. This has many different languages spoken to. It's like French, it's German, it's English as well. And it's a movie that I haven't seen. And then into March, on the 3rd, we have The Holdovers. We just had this movie for a couple weeks. This was a really well-received film by Alexander Payne, starring Paul Giamatti, Divine Joy Randolph, and Dominic Sessa. This is a Christmas feeling movie. It's it takes place at a remote prep school. Paul Giamatti plays a cranky history teacher, and Dominic Sessa is a troubled youth, and Divine Joy Randolph, I believe, also works at the school, and so they are all going through their own thing. Divine Joy Randolph's son just passed away in Vietnam, so it's a heartfelt but hard film, but it's also sweet and comfortable and homely. Homely? Homey? But specifically, this is a movie that I have not seen. And then lastly is the great return of the monolithic Barbie. Barbie has taken this year by storm, and by this year I mean last year. Barbie was one of the most prolific films that we've had. We had that big Barbie Bash, the Malibu Mixer, and this movie has been doing incredible. I think not just the acting and the directing and the writing, but also the music has been enjoying a lot of praise, which it deserves. And this movie I have seen. Pretty cool. So those are the movies. We also will be doing what we do every year with the Oscar shorts. We'll have the Oscar shorts, the live action, the animated, and the documentary. We'll have all of those as well. Those will be back, and those will be on a short run. But the big thing here, the most important thing here, is that there is a package that you can buy, a pass, as it were. An awards season film series pass that will save you almost $100. For the low price of $56, you can have access to all 14 of these films, which is incredibly cheap. If you were to just buy the ticket outright for each of these films, it would be like much more expensive. But instead, you buy this pass and it breaks out to like $4.50 per film. So if you are the cinema fan trying to stay rich, you got to get this award season film pass, because it's the only way to see films, and the only way to see films is here at the United Theater. And that is what I want to talk to you about today, even though I just finished it. So if you're tuning in right now, go back to the beginning of the show where I talk about all the movies. Also, if you're starting the show now, welcome. Thanks for listening. I'm Lee Metzger. This has been The Load In, and we'll see you next time. Go see some movies. I sure need to. Oof. Oof.
Thanks for tuning in to the United Theater Podcast Network. If you enjoyed this episode, we encourage you to subscribe to our show so you never miss an episode. And if you could take a moment to leave a review, we'd greatly appreciate it. Your feedback helps us create content that you love. So hit that subscribe button and leave us a review, and we'll see you on the next episode.